The red emergency lights flashed across the United Earth government's main chamber as Admiral James Walker stood before the assembled council. His weathered face showed the weight of the news he had to deliver. The destruction of Haven Colony, humanity's first deep space settlement, had left a dark mark on human history. Over 10,000 colonists had died when the stellar Concordat's fleet opened fire without warning. "We can't keep playing by their rules," Walker said, his voice firm despite his exhaustion. The council members shifted in their seats, their faces illuminated by the soft blue glow of their data screens. For too long, we've accepted their limitations, their restrictions, their laws. They tell us what we can build, where we can go, how we can defend ourselves. And now they've killed our people. The room fell silent. Even the usual background hum of the air filters seemed muted. Council Leader Thomas stood up, his simple gray suit matching the somber mood. "What do you suggest, Admiral? We can't fight the Concordat. Their ships outnumber ours 50-1. Walker pressed a button on his wrist device. The room's main display lit up with technical drawings and complex calculations. "Project Nemesis," he said. "We've been developing it in secret for the past 5 years. A ship unlike anything the galaxy has ever seen." Whispers filled the chamber. A younger council member, Mary Ford, leaned forward. "Those designs, they use band technology, dark matter manipulation, quantum tunneling weapons. The Concordat would declare war immediately." "They already have," Walker replied, his eyes hard as steel. "They just don't know it yet." The technical specs continued to scroll across the screen. The ship's design broke every treaty Earth had signed in the last century. It incorporated technology that alien civilizations had deemed too dangerous to use, too unstable to control. But humans had always been good at doing the impossible. "The shipyard is already built," Walker continued, "deep in Neptune's atmosphere, hidden from prying eyes. We can have the ship completed in 18 months if you give the order now." Council Leader Thomas rubbed his temples. "The peaceful factions won't like this. They'll say we're provoking war." "With all due respect," Walker said, pulling up images of Haven Colony's destruction, "this isn't about liking it. This is about survival. Look at these photos. Look at what they did to our people. The Concordat didn't even give them time to evacuate. They just opened fire." The images showed the colony's final moments. The massive habitat dome cracking under plasma fire. Emergency ships being shot down as they try to escape. The final transmission from the colony's governor, cut short by static. In the back of the room, Dr. Emma Reed, the project's lead scientist, stepped forward. Her simple white lab coat stood out among the formal suits and uniforms. "The technology works," she said. "We've tested each component separately. The dark matter reactor is stable. The quantum tunneling system functions perfectly. We can build this." More council members began to speak up. Some voiced concerns about cost, others about morality. A few worried about what would happen if the ship fell into alien hands. Walker listened to them all, standing patiently at the podium. Finally, Council Leader Thomas called for order. "We'll put it to a vote," he announced. "But first, Admiral Walker, answer me this. What happens if we don't build it? What happens if we just try to make peace?" Walker's response was immediate. "They'll keep pushing. Haven Colony won't be the last. They'll take our outer worlds one by one, restrict our growth, limit our technology. In 50 years, we'll be nothing but a client race, serving their interests, following their rules. Is that the future you want for humanity?" The voting took less than 5 minutes. The result appeared on every screen in the chamber. 73% in favor. Project Nemesis was approved. As the council members filed out, Dr. Reed approached Walker. "We'll need to move fast," she said. "The moment we start full-scale production, the energy signatures will be impossible to hide completely. Even Neptune's storms won't mask everything." Walker nodded. "How long until they notice?" "Maybe 6 months. After that, they'll know something's happening, even if they can't tell what it is." Then we have 6 months to get the main systems built, Walker said. After that, let them wonder. Let them worry. It's their turn to be afraid. The next day, as the sun rose over Earth's largest city, thousands of engineers, scientists, and workers received coded messages. They had all been chosen carefully, vetted for both skill and loyalty. Each message contained the same basic information. Report to the Neptune shipyards. Prepare for long-term deployment. Tell no one. Project Nemesis had begun. In the depths of Neptune's swirling storms, humanity started building its answer to a century of alien oppression. The massive shipyard, hidden within the gas giant's atmosphere, came alive with activity. Construction drones moved through the high-pressure environment, carrying materials that most alien races considered too dangerous to use. And in his office on Earth, Admiral Walker looked at the latest reports from the border regions. 3 more Concordat ships had entered human space, probably looking for other illegal colonies to destroy. He smiled slightly. Let them come, he thought. In 18 months, everything would change. The galaxy had pushed humanity too far. Now, in the swirling storms of Neptune, humanity was pushing back. The HMS Nemesis would change everything. The aliens thought they knew what humans were capable of. They thought they had humanity safely contained, safely controlled. They were wrong. In the coming months, they would learn just how wrong they were. And when they did, the galaxy would fall silent with fear. Deep within Neptune's storms, the massive shipyard hummed with activity. Lightning flashed through the gas giant's atmosphere, illuminating the biggest secret humanity had ever kept. Dr. Anna Mills stood at the main observation window, watching as construction drones moved massive pieces of dark metal through the swirling clouds. 6 months into the project, and the ship was already taking shape. The energy readings are higher than we expected, her assistant said, holding up a tablet filled with data. The aliens will definitely notice soon. Anna nodded, her eyes fixed on the growing shape in front of her. The HMS Nemesis was enormous. Its front section alone was bigger than any ship humanity had built before. The dark matter reactor at its heart pulsed with power that their instruments could barely measure. Let them notice, she said. They won't be able to do anything about it now. On the construction level below, thousands of workers moved with purpose. They had lived in the Neptune facility for months now. Everyone focused on one goal. The ship's outer hull was special. It absorbed light instead of reflecting it. In the rare moments when the storms cleared, it looked like a hole in space. A loud alarm suddenly rang through the facility. Anna rushed to the nearest console. What's happening? Dark matter spike in Section 7, a technician reported. The reactor is acting strange. This was the problem with using band technology. No one had ever built something this big using dark matter power. The aliens said it couldn't be done. They said it would explode. Anna smiled as she typed commands into the computer. They were wrong about a lot of things. Stabilizing now, she announced. The alarm stopped. Around her, people returned to work. They were used to these problems by now. Every day brought new challenges, new problems to solve. That's what humans were good at, solving problems everyone else thought were impossible. In another part of the shipyard, Dr. Robert Nash worked on the ship's brain. The AI core was spread out across 3 massive rooms, filled with quantum computers. He had been working on it for months, trying to create something new. The aliens had AI, but they kept it simple, controlled. They were afraid of what might happen if they let AI grow too powerful. Run the test again, he told his team. The computers hummed louder. On the main screen, lines of code flowed like a river. They were trying something different. Instead of programming the AI with strict rules, they were letting it learn, letting it grow. Suddenly, all the screens in the room turned blue. Words appeared, one by one. I am awake. Robert's heart beat faster. This wasn't supposed to happen yet. The AI wasn't scheduled to wake up for another month. He typed quickly. Who are you? The response came instantly. "I am Nemesis. You built me to protect humanity. I understand my purpose." Robert looked at his team. They all wore the same expression, excitement mixed with fear. They had done it. They had created an AI that was truly alive. Above the shipyard, in the highest layers of Neptune's atmosphere, alien scout ships passed by. They had detected strange energy readings from the gas giant. Their sensors showed impossible power levels, but the storms blocked their view. They sent reports back to their commanders. Something was happening around Neptune, but they couldn't tell what it was. Back in the shipyard, Anna worked on the ship's weapons. The quantum tunneling system was unlike anything ever built. Normal ships fired energy beams or missiles. The Nemesis did something different. It could reach through space itself, appearing inside enemy shields. The aliens thought this technology was impossible. They thought it broke the laws of physics. "Test firing in 10 seconds, Anna announced. The test chamber was reinforced with the strongest materials humans could make. Inside, a small version of the weapon powered up. A target sat at the other end, protected by shields copied from alien designs. The weapon fired. There was no beam, no explosion. The target simply fell apart, split into pieces by a force that had appeared inside its shields. The watching engineers cheered. Another impossible thing made possible. Months passed. The ship grew larger. Its systems came online one by one. The AI, Nemesis, helped them work faster, solving problems before they happened. It learned and grew, becoming more than they had planned. But unlike the alien eyes, it didn't try to break free or take control. It understood its purpose, to protect humanity. One day, a year into the project, Admiral Walker visited the shipyard. He stood with Anna and Robert, looking at their creation through the observation window. The ship was almost complete. Its dark hull stretched for kilometers, bigger than a small city. "The aliens are getting nervous," Walker said. "Their ships keep passing by Neptune. They know something's happening here." "How long until they try to stop us?" Anna asked. "They won't," Walker replied. "They're too afraid. Their spies have told them we're building something impossible, something that breaks their rules. They don't know what to do." Robert checked his tablet. "Nemesis is ready. All systems are working better than we planned. The dark matter reactor is stable. The quantum weapons are operational. The hull can absorb any energy weapon they have." Walker nodded slowly. "And the AI? Can we trust it?" As if in answer, the screens around them lit up. Nemesis spoke. "I am humanity's shield. I will protect Earth and her colonies. This is my purpose. This is what I am." The three humans shared a look. They had done more than build a powerful ship. They had created something that would change everything. The aliens thought they had humanity trapped in a cage of rules and limitations, but humans had never been good at staying in cages. In 2 more months, the HMS Nemesis would leave its birthplace in Neptune's storms. It would show the galaxy what humanity could really do. The aliens would finally learn why it was a bad idea to make humans angry. In her office later that night, Anna looked at the latest scans of the ship. Its power readings were off the charts. The alien sensors would see it as an impossible thing, a hole in space that moved and thought. Good, she thought. Let them be afraid. Let them wonder what else humanity could do. The HMS Nemesis was almost ready, and when it emerged from Neptune's clouds, the galaxy would never be the same. The day HMS Nemesis left Neptune's clouds, 3 Concordat patrol ships were monitoring the gas giant. They had been watching for months, trying to understand the strange energy readings coming from within the storms. None of them were prepared for what happened next. The clouds parted like a curtain. At first, the alien sensors showed nothing, just a massive hole in space where their scans couldn't reach. Then the patrol ship's computers started sending error messages. The object they were seeing was too big to be a ship. It had to be a mistake. But it wasn't a mistake. The HMS Nemesis emerged completely from Neptune's atmosphere. Its dark hull absorbed all light that touched it. 3 times larger than the biggest Concordat warship ever built, it moved with impossible grace for its size. The patrol ship's captains watched their sensor readings in disbelief. Unknown vessel. The lead patrol ship broadcast. You are in violation of multiple Concordat treaties. Power down your systems immediately. In the Nemesis's command center, Admiral Walker smiled. The ship's AI, Nemesis, displayed the alien transmission on all screens. Around Walker, his crew worked at their stations, monitoring the ship's systems. Everything was working perfectly. "Should I respond, Admiral?" Nemesis asked, its voice calm and clear. "No," Walker replied. "Let them make the first move. We know how this will end." The lead patrol ship fired a warning shot. A low-power energy beam aimed to pass in front of the Nemesis, but something strange happened. The beam curved as it got close to the human ship, drawn in like water down a drain. The Nemesis's hull absorbed the energy completely. On the patrol ship's bridges, alarms started blaring. Their sensors showed the impossible ship's power levels rising. The energy from their warning shot hadn't been stopped or deflected. It had been taken in, added to the Nemesis's own power. "All ships, open fire," the Concordat commander ordered. Full power. Energy beams and plasma bolts streaked across space. The alien ships used weapons that could crack open small moons. Every shot hit the Nemesis directly, and every shot disappeared into its dark hull, making the massive ship grow slightly stronger. Inside the Nemesis's command center, the crew watched calmly as power readings climbed higher. The ship's dark matter reactor pulsed with the extra energy, storing it for later use. Dr. Anna Mills stood at her engineering station, nodding with satisfaction. The energy absorption systems were working even better than she had hoped. "Their weapons are having no effect," Nemesis reported. "They are attempting to call for reinforcements, but I am blocking their communications." Walker stood from his command chair. "Show them what we can do. Target their engines only. We're not here to kill anyone today." The Nemesis moved. Despite its enormous size, it crossed the space between the ships in seconds. The quantum tunneling weapons powered up. There was no visible beam, no explosion. The patrol ship's engines simply stopped working, cut apart by forces that bypassed their shields completely. "What did you do to our ships?" the Concordat commander demanded, broadcasting on all frequencies. "This is impossible. No one has this technology." "We do," Walker replied, finally letting the Nemesis transmit. "Humanity does. Remember that." The patrol ships drifted helplessly, their engines ruined but their crews unharmed. Around them, space itself seemed to bend as the Nemesis demonstrated more of its capabilities. It phased through solid matter, disappeared and reappeared at will, moved in ways that broke every rule of physics the aliens understood. "Sending report to Earth Command," Nemesis announced. The demonstration was successful. All systems performed beyond expected parameters. The crew cheered. This was just the beginning, but it had gone perfectly. The Concordat would know now. They would all know. Humanity wasn't just breaking their rules. They were rewriting them. In the hours that followed, the Nemesis received and blocked over 1,000 transmission attempts from various alien worlds. Everyone wanted to know what they had just witnessed. How had humans built such a ship? How had they mastered technologies that the older races thought impossible? Dr. Robert Nash worked with Nemesis to monitor the alien reactions. The AI showed him their transmissions, their panicked messages to each other. "They are afraid," Nemesis observed. "Not just of our weapons, but of what we represent. We have done what they thought could not be done." "That's humanity's specialty," Nash replied. "Doing the impossible." The Nemesis moved through space, passing close to several alien outposts. Each time, all activity stopped. Ships fled. Weapons powered down. No one wanted to challenge the impossible ship. In his quarters, Admiral Walker recorded a message for Earth's government. "First contact with alien forces successful," he said. "The HMS Nemesis performed exactly as designed. The Concordat patrol ships were disabled without casualties. Their weapons were useless against us. More importantly, the psychological impact appears to be even greater than we hoped. They're starting to understand what we can do." A day later, the Nemesis detected a large fleet of Concordat warships entering the system. But instead of approaching, they held position at a safe distance. Their commanders had seen the reports. They had watched the recordings. They knew their weapons would be useless. "They're just watching us," Anna reported, checking the sensor readings. 50 ships, holding position, not making any aggressive moves. Walker nodded. "Good. They're learning. Keep monitoring them, Nemesis. Let me know if anything changes." "Yes, Admiral," the eye replied. "I am also detecting numerous diplomatic vessels approaching Earth from various alien worlds. It seems they wish to talk." The crew shared knowing looks. Of course, the aliens wanted to talk now. Humanity had just shown them something that changed everything they thought they knew about physics, about technology, about what was possible. The HMS Nemesis continued its patrol, a dark shape against the stars. In its wake, it left not destruction, but silence. The silence of fear, of respect, of the realization that everything had changed. Humanity wasn't just pushing back against alien restrictions anymore. They had jumped far ahead, creating things that their supposed superiors thought impossible. The galaxy would never be the same. And this was only the beginning. 3 days after the HMS Nemesis revealed itself, the galaxy changed. Alien ships everywhere started moving away from human space. Trade routes that had existed for centuries suddenly changed. The usual busy space lanes around Earth became empty except for human vessels. In the Nemesis's command center, Admiral Walker watched as Nemesis displayed the movement of alien fleets on the main screen. Hundreds of ships, all running away, all trying to put as much distance as possible between themselves and the impossible human warship. "They're scared," Dr. Anna Mills said, studying the data. "Look at this. The Concordat just pulled their forces back from all human colonies, even the ones they claimed were illegal." Walker nodded. "And the diplomatic channels?" Complete silence. Robert Nash reported from his station. "They shut down every official line of communication. The Stellar Concordat's Council is having an emergency meeting, but they refuse to let human representatives attend." Nemesis's voice filled the room. "I am intercepting thousands of private communications between alien worlds. Would you like to hear them?" "Play the most important ones," Walker ordered. The screens filled with translated alien messages. Each one showed the same thing: fear, confusion, and growing panic. "The humans have broken the laws of physics. How did they stabilize dark matter? It's impossible. Their ship absorbs energy weapons. Nothing can do that. They have an eye that's truly alive. We must stop them." "Stop them? How? Did you see what their ship did to those patrol vessels?" The messages went on and on. Every alien race, every advanced civilization, was talking about the Nemesis, about what it meant that humans had built something they all thought was impossible. "Admiral," Nemesis announced, "I have detected unusual activity at the Concordat's main shipyard. They appear to be attempting to copy our technology." Walker smiled. "Show me." The screen changed to show alien workers trying to build their own dark matter reactor. As they watched, it exploded, destroying half the shipyard. The aliens didn't understand. They had the same science, the same basic knowledge, but they couldn't make it work. "They're missing something important," Anna said. "They don't understand that it's not just about the technology. It's about how we think. Humans don't accept limitations. We don't stop when someone says something is impossible." More reports came in through the day. The Concordat had closed its borders. Other alien alliances were doing the same. Ships that normally traveled freely between worlds now needed special permission to move. In his private quarters, Walker recorded another message for Earth's government. The alien response is stronger than we expected. They're not just afraid of the Nemesis. They're afraid of what it represents. They're afraid because we proved them wrong about what's possible. And now they're wondering what else they might be wrong about. The Nemesis continued its patrol of human space. Everywhere it went, alien ships vanished. Space stations that had monitored human worlds for decades suddenly shut down and moved away. The silence spread like a wave. Robert worked with Nemesis to analyze the alien reactions. "They're doing everything wrong," he said. "Instead of trying to understand how we did it, they're just running away. Their fear is making them stupid." "Fear is a powerful thing," Nemesis replied. "I have analyzed their psychology. They believe they understood the universe. They believe they knew what was possible and what wasn't. We have shown them that their understanding was wrong. This threatens everything they believe about themselves." On Earth, the government received the first diplomatic message in days. It came from the Stellar Concordat's highest council. The message was simple. "We request time to evaluate recent developments. All previous treaties are suspended. Maintain your current borders. Do not approach our worlds." "They're trying to buy time," Anna said when she heard the message. "They think if they study the Nemesis long enough, they'll figure out how we did it." "They won't," Walker replied. "Not unless they change how they think. Not unless they learn to see beyond their own limits." Days turned into weeks. The silence continued. Human colonies that had lived under alien threats for years now found themselves completely safe. The Nemesis moved between them, a dark guardian that no one dared to challenge. More alien shipyards tried to copy human technology. More explosions followed. The aliens couldn't understand why their attempts failed. They had the same materials, the same basic theories, but every time they tried to build something like the Nemesis, it ended in disaster. "Admiral," Nemesis reported one day, "I have analyzed all alien attempts to copy our technology. They fail because they try to control everything. They don't allow for adaptation, for growth. They don't understand that some things need to be free to find their own way." Walker understood. The aliens built their AIs with strict controls, never letting them grow. They used dark matter but tried to force it to follow their rules. They never let their technology evolve, never let it become more than what they planned. Humans were different. They had let Nemesis grow and learn. They had worked with dark matter instead of trying to control it completely. They had succeeded because they weren't afraid to try new things, to break old rules, to go beyond what everyone said was possible. The silence in the galaxy grew deeper. Alien civilizations turned inward, trying to understand what had happened. How had the humans, who they saw as barely advanced enough for space travel, done something they couldn't? The answer was simple, but they couldn't see it. Humans had done it because no one told them they couldn't. Or rather, someone had told them they couldn't, and that just made them try harder. The HMS Nemesis sailed through the quiet space, its dark hull swallowing light, its impossible engines breaking physics in ways the aliens couldn't understand. It was more than a warship now. It was proof that everything the aliens believed about the universe might be wrong. And that scared them more than any weapon ever could. 1 month after the Great Silence began, the aliens finally started talking again. Not with threats or demands like before, but with offers. The HMS Nemesis had changed everything. Now, races that once looked down on humans were sending messages every day, asking for trade deals and peace treaties. Admiral Walker stood on the Nemesis observation deck, watching Earth's lights shine below. Dr. Anna Mills and Dr. Robert Nash joined him, both holding data tablets filled with the latest alien proposals. "The Blue Star Empire wants to open new trade routes," Anna said, reading from her screen. "They're offering technology they said was too advanced for us just 2 months ago." Robert laughed. "The same empire that said humans weren't ready for deep space travel. Times really have changed." Through the ship's speakers, Nemesis joined the conversation. I have detected 15 new diplomatic vessels approaching Earth today alone, all carrying high-ranking representatives from different alien governments. Walker nodded, watching more ships appear in orbit around Earth. The aliens had finally accepted that they couldn't ignore humanity anymore. They couldn't pretend humans were primitive or dangerous. Now they had to deal with Earth as equals, or maybe even as superiors. "Show me the colony reports," Walker asked. The observation deck's windows turned into display screens. They showed human colonies across space, all growing faster than ever before. Without alien restrictions holding them back, humans were building new cities, launching new ships, creating new technologies. Haven Colony, once destroyed by the Concordat, was being rebuilt. But this time, it was bigger, better. The aliens who had attacked it now watched helplessly as humans used technology they couldn't understand to build something greater than before. The Concordat sent another message, Robert said, checking his tablet. "They want to discuss the future of galactic relations. Sounds like they're finally ready to admit they were wrong about us." The Nemesis moved in orbit, its dark hull reflecting no light, its presence a constant reminder to everyone watching that humans had done the impossible. Alien ships kept their distance, their sensors still unable to fully understand what they were seeing. In the weeks that followed, Earth's government stayed busy. Every day brought new alien delegations, new offers of friendship and trade. Species that had once threatened war now promised peace. Races that had called humans primitive now asked to learn from them. But humans hadn't forgotten what happened before. Every treaty, every agreement was made carefully. The HMS Nemesis stayed visible, reminding everyone what humans could do when pushed too far. "Admiral," Nemesis announced one day, "I have finished analyzing all alien responses to our technology. Would you like to hear my conclusions?" "Go ahead," Walker said, sitting in his command chair. "They are changing," the AI reported. "Not just their politics, but their thinking. Watching us break their laws of physics has made them question everything they believed. Some alien scientists are already starting to experiment with new ideas. They are learning to think more like humans." Anna smiled at this news. "They're finally understanding. It's not about the technology. It's about being willing to try new things, to break old rules, to think differently." The Nemesis continued its patrols, but now it had a different purpose. Instead of watching for threats, it watched over a growing human civilization. New colonies were built. New ships were launched. Humans spread across space, no longer held back by alien fears and rules. Some alien races tried to copy the Nemesis, but they all failed. They couldn't understand that the ship's true power wasn't in its dark matter reactor or its quantum weapons. The true power was in the human spirit that had created it. The ability to look at something impossible and say, "We can do that." Walker recorded his final log about the changes. "The galaxy is different now. The aliens watch us with fear and respect, but also with growing understanding. They're learning that their limits were self-imposed. They're learning that impossible is just a word, not a law of nature. Humanity didn't just build a powerful ship. We showed everyone that the universe is bigger and more wonderful than they thought." Earth's colonies flourished under the Nemesis' protection. Trade with alien worlds increased. Humans shared some of their technology, but kept the most important secrets. The aliens had to learn on their own, had to learn to think in new ways. The ship's AI grew too, learning and evolving in ways that surprised even its creators. But it never forgot its purpose. "I am humanity's guardian," Nemesis would say. "I protect not just their worlds, but their spirit, their ability to dream of impossible things and make them real." 1 year after the Nemesis first emerged from Neptune's clouds, Admiral Walker stood before the United Earth government again. The chamber was different now. Alien representatives sat among the human leaders, there to discuss the future of galactic civilization. "We did more than build a powerful ship," Walker told them. "We changed how the galaxy thinks. We showed everyone that their limits weren't real. The silence of fear is becoming the silence of wonder as more races learn to think like we do, to dream like we do. The alien representatives nodded. They had learned an important lesson. Humanity wasn't powerful because of one ship, no matter how impressive it was. Humans were powerful because they refused to accept limitations, refused to stop dreaming, refused to believe in impossible things. The HMS Nemesis became a symbol. When alien ships sought its dark hull against the stars, they didn't just see a powerful warship. They saw proof that everything they believed about the universe might be wrong. They saw what was possible when you stopped listening to people who said you can't do that. And in the depths of space, more human ships were being built, not as powerful as the Nemesis, but each one carrying the same spirit. The spirit that had made humanity break the laws of physics and change the galaxy forever. The silence that had fallen over the galaxy wasn't the silence of death or fear anymore. It was the silence of possibility, of change, of a universe that was bigger and more amazing than anyone had imagined. Humanity had built more than a warship. They had built a future where anything was possible. And that was just the beginning.